All right, guys, welcome to the third and final video. We've spent our time talking about creating some stretches and mobility. We've talked about creating activation and stability. Then we focused in the last video about building strength and not only what the movement quality should look like, but our approaches to how we load that exercise. The final thing that we're gonna focus on here is we're gonna focus on 2 power exercises. We're gonna focus on ways that we should be thinking about loading and transitioning from strength into power, and when is the right time in your program to accomplish this. So if you're ready, let's get after it. So now let's talk a little bit about the differences between strength and power. When we're talking about strength, the thing that we want to focus on is being able to move heavier and heavier loads. And this is important because we're not going to be moving fast. That doesn't mean that we have to move fast through the motion. What we need to do is make sure that we have control, stability, and functional mobility as we work our way through that full range. So when we're building strength, we're actually working on load. Now, when we start talking about power, we start bringing in this component of speed. And the problem with power is that if you don't have the prerequisite mobility or you don't have the stability to actually hold that bar overhead safely and securely, doing things fast and explosive can actually do more harm than good. So if you're starting out and this is a new phase for you, or maybe this is a new exercise altogether for you, it's really important that you take time to focus on your mobility and stability first. Then you start in with a strong phase of building up strength. So you're gonna focus on maybe 10 to 12 reps or 8 to 12 reps, and you're working at minimal or moderate loads. And then as you get better with that, you wanna progressively either increase the weight and decrease the reps, or you wanna increase the reps and maintain the same weight. And that's a great way for you to build functional strength, make sure that you've got the stability, and ensure that you have the mobility before you start getting into explosive movements. So I'm gonna walk you through just a standard military press. Again, we'll throw some weight on there, and then we'll start talking about what explosive motions might look like from either a push press or a split jerk. All right, so we're gonna start in with 95 pounds, light load, makes it easy to work on the pressing portion. I wanna focus here on just showing what that press looks like again. It's important that you understand what the glide looks like to the top. Make sure that we're not flaring the ribs here to make sure that we've got the core tight and the hips are tucked under. And again, just to reinforce what this lower body position looks like, we don't wanna stick our butt out. We wanna focus on a light tuck under. And by squeezing the glutes, we're actually creating some stability in the pelvis, which is gonna allow us to create stability for the lower portion of the spine or the lumbar spine. Then from there, we wanna lock in through the rib cage and create that IAP, or inner abdominal pressure. We create tension by bracing, and then we breathe in and push that air down using the diaphragm. Once we've got all that locked in, we lock in through the ribs, and then we go through the press. So I'm gonna do 3 reps here just to, again, demonstrate what this looks like. Now you get to practice. I'd like you to do 2 to 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps at a rep weight that is a resistance of 4 or 5 out of 10. We refer to this as RPE. So a light load that you know you can manage, that way you can get comfortable with the motion. All right, go for it. All right, so now you've gone through the strength motion. It's slow, it's controlled. You understand, we could talk more about tempos in another video, but right now we're just gonna focus on what strength looks like. Now the next thing that we wanna focus on is the explosive motion. And there are a variety of ways that you could go through the explosive motion. One of the most common is called a push press. In a push press, we get our feet set up, we bend the knees just slightly, and the motion drives from the legs, through the hips, through the core, into the arms, and explodes the press all the way up overhead. Now, this is again, more of an advanced exercise, and in order to not hurt yourself, it really requires that you have the right mobility, the right stability, and the right strength to make sure that you're not damaging tissue when the bar gets up overhead. So now let's talk about push press. The setup is the same, the grip is the same, the hands are the same. The only difference is now we're gonna use those hips to generate a little bit of power and pop. And when you think about it, a push press is really a full body exercise. It's no longer just focusing on what's happening through the shoulders and the arms, it's using the whole body to get that weight shot straight up towards the sky. So, get the bar set. This is a bilateral push press. We'll step in, set the feet, breathe and embrace. You'll see me dip the hips and then punch. Now, as you get yourself set up, you see that punch through the ceiling. As the bar is working its way up, the next piece is to receive the bar to sit down underneath it. And this is ensuring that we've got good mobility through our ankles, our knees, and our hips, and that we've got great trunk stability through our core. So as that bar goes up, we punch through the hips, snap, punch up, dip, and lock out to receive the bar, stand up, bring it back down, breathe in, brace, reset, dip, drive, punch, all the way back up. This is a fluid exercise that really requires you to be able to coordinate all of these things together fluidly. So again, start light, take your time, consider doing maybe 3 or 4 sets of 2 or 3 reps at a time. Video yourself with your camera so that you're able to evaluate your own quality of movement and see how it looks compared to the demonstration. All right, give it a shot. So the last one that we're gonna focus on in the power section as we get ready to wrap up this shoulder press demonstration is we're going to focus on a step back push jerk. And in this exercise, all of the things are the same. However, in this particular exercise, when I go to explode, I wanna do a light step back to help me finish and create some stability. Now, why this is important is because this is going to allow me to start building progressively into an Olympic lift, like a split jerk. If you are an explosive athlete, this is a great way for you to build upper and lower body strength and create some co-coordination between the upper and lower bodies. So, get yourself set up. This is an exercise where once you get good with that standing push press or push jerk, it's going to allow you to eventually overload this system. So we want to get to a point where we're able to push at an 8 or a 9 in terms of the load for 1, 2, or 3 reps at a time based on where you are in the program. So from here, we would set up, everything is the exact same, hands in grip, I step into the bar, take a step off, thumbs are squared up, take that deep breath in, dip, drive, and then as I punch to the sky, step that right foot back, or left foot based off of whichever one's your dominant. Excellent. Give it a shot. Try 1 to 2 sets. Looking for 1, 2, maximum 3 reps at a load to you right now that maybe feels slightly heavier than what you worked with prior to. Maybe you work your way up to a 5 or a 6. If you're more advanced and you feel really confident, allow yourself to go to a 7 or an 8 and explore slowly and safely. All right, so how did it go? You just finished doing both the push jerk and the step back, right? Boom, here. And you get to evaluate yourself. How did it go? Did it feel quality? Did you feel like you were doing more through your legs? Did you feel like you're doing more through your arms? Did you feel like the timing between your legs and your arms was off? This is an important time for you to evaluate in between each of those sets to understand what you're doing in each rep to improve the quality of it. So by this point, you got a pretty good understanding. The breakdown is probably gonna start occurring in your trunk. It might occur in your hips in terms of timing, and it may also start showing up in terms of your full extension and your full range of motion in the press. So as you keep moving forward, make sure that you are regressing where you need to. You're adding a little bit of load where you feel like you can, but you're getting to that point each time where you feel yourself starting to break down. That's the stopping point. and know that you need to keep training in order to progress past that. So hopefully that helps. You got some more time, get a couple more sets in, and keep improving yourself. All right, so that wraps up our tutorial today on vertical pressing. As a reminder, we covered working our way through some corrective exercises to dispel the myth, doing corrective exercises and corrective stretches or static stretches prior to strength training is perfectly fine as long as it's followed up with activation. We then went into some activation exercises using an elastic band, and then finally, we set ourselves up to go through the prep motions, building mobility, focusing on strength, and then focusing again on power. This transition is incredible for anybody working on building upper body and lower body co-coordination, building strength throughout their whole system, and looking for a way to create a new variety safely in your program. So again, vertical pressing, pain-free, this is the way to get it done. As always, like, subscribe, post a comment below, and if there's anything we can do, feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Coach Alex White, this is Peak Human Performance, and we're here to help you reach your optimal level of performance. Looking forward to seeing you around the gym. Take care.